with a catch for -2. Kings Mountain ended up with 127 yards rushing, 129 passing for 256, but just 55 yards in the second half total offense. For Shelby on the ground, it was Tristan Tate, 16 carries, 74 yards. Drew Hollifield had 3 carries for 15 yards. He lost a fumble. Land Farmer ended up with 9 carries for 3 yards. Nick Norris had 1 carry for no gain, and Isaiah Bridges 2 carries for -10. Shelby 82 yards on 31 carries. Passing, Farmer was 11 of 20 for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Tristan Tate was leading receiver yardage-wise. He had 2 catches for 50 yards and 2 touchdowns. Isaiah Bridges had 4 catches for 25 yards. Eli Falls, 3 catches for 42 yards. Calvin Ramsewer had 1 catch for 19 yards, and Camden McGill had 1 catch for 17 yards. Shelby with 82 rushing, 150 passing, 232 total. They actually outgained Kings Mountain 152 to 55 in the second half, Jeff. But the turnovers were the difference.
Yeah, that's the difference in the ball game. The Kings Mountain defense forced turnovers, and then their offense was just good enough to turn those 3 turnovers into 13 points. And one thing you got to say, the Golden Lion defense was put into some rough situations. And they gave up 13 points on those 3 turnovers, and all 3 of those turnovers gave Kings Mountain the ball in Shelby territory, most of the time kind of deep in Shelby territory. And so the situation was that one of the play of the game, we can go ahead and get a little bit ahead of ourselves, the Cool Air play of the game, and that's sponsored by Shelby Heating and Air of Shelby. That's going to be that fake punt. When it was 7-7, Shelby had gotten a sack, forced a 4th down and 18 from the Shelby 40, and Kings Mountain ran a fake punt and picked up 40 yards for a touchdown, and they never looked back. And Shelby was never able to get any closer than those 7 points after that. And so that's the Cool Air play of the game. And so you've got that special teams play. You have play. So it's almost like there were 3 turnovers.
Absolutely. That was with 11:56 to go in the second quarter in a tie game, and Robert Kendrick had that 40-yard fake punt for the touchdown. That was our Cool Air play of the game, sponsored by Shelby Heating and Air. Now time for our defensive player of the game, sponsored by Homestar Financial. And, Jeff, I think we're going to go one each, and I think for Shelby, I'd say Jock Garnett just seemed to be in the backfield all night long for the Golden Lions. For Kings Mountain, I'm going to go with 33 Curry. Seemed like I called his name over and over, even though I was expecting and did call Curtis Simpson and Armstrong's name a lot. But, my gosh, Curry had a heck of a game in that interior line.
And let's talk about one other thing. We knew that Kings Mountain had great defensive ends. But, when the defensive ends weren't making the sack, the defensive tackles were.
Yep.
And the other thing is Shelby did what I thought they needed to do, which was try to pound the
saw that defensive end follow that tackle down inside.
That was Jamison who worked through there again.
Okay.
And here's Staten again. All this negated by the holding penalty, and that's going to back Gaffney up inside the 10. So the visitors from across the state line on their own 9-yard line. They need the 26 for a first down now on second down. And Staten looking to go long. And he'll fire a pass near the marker on the far side. It is incomplete. Third and long coming, and we got a player cramping at the 45-yard line for Crest. It looks like that's Devarius Surratt. As you get one more look at the intended target, Drew Medley for Gaffney. And the coverage being provided by Tank Ruff, who's seen action on both sides of the ball tonight for Crest. Again, the player they're working with, Devarius Surratt, a sophomore, 6'3", 180. He's 5'11", 160 in his freshman campaign, so having beefed up a bit, going to be a big part of that secondary for
I've heard that name
this
a
Crest
lot
squad.
of times down this way. Playing the Shelbys many times I had to.
Well, I knew you knew the way down here.
I knew the way down here.
Boy,
I never go back. I know I did go back the same way every time.
What a big win a year ago in September for this Crest squad. You talk about that Shelby game and what that rivalry means here in Cleveland County. You know, you look at the rankings in 3A coming into the year. You got Kings Mountain at the top, and then, of course, this Crest team, we've told you, ranked second in the state. Dudley, East Lincoln, Northern Nash, AC Reynolds, South Point, North Brunswick, 71st, and West Charlotte. That's how the top 10 line up. So speaks to what a prime area this is for football.
Yeah, and this thing, the Kings Mountain's right down the road, East Lincoln's right down the road, South Point's right down the road.
Yes, sir. All a part of this Big South area, and the Big South 3A representative looking for a stop on third down as Gaffney's backed up to third and forever. Again, the Indians will need the 26, and another flag comes in ahead of the third down play. And they're saying this is going to be against Gaffney again. So the Indians are going to work a little closer to the goal line. This is a false start against Gaffney.
Well, I wondered about that. You know, if that it's a split end that was over here. He's usually on the line of scrimmage. Let's see now, they got a tight end on this side. Reason being, so that's a flanker.
Your train comfort specialist is CSI Mechanical in Shelby, serving this area since 2010. CSI Mechanical's goal is to provide peace and comfort with respectable, dependable, honest, and reliable customer service for everyone. They pledge to keep their pricing competitive and fair with no hidden surprising costs. 100% customer satisfaction is their goal. From air conditioning to heating to HVAC repair and maintenance to commercial refrigeration. Call on CSI Mechanical, located at 410 South Post Road in Shelby. Call 704-600-6267. Online at CSI Mechanical.
So that extra point was huge, and then now they're getting the ball back, and you want to see just how much. I know that Coach Sosby would like to control the ball and keep Gaffney offense on that sideline. But you can't judge that with him. He's probably going to go deep again. He's due. They've after that dropped, and they've barely missed it. They've about hit it 2 or 3 times.
Gaffney talking over any adjustments that would be there. The message being clearly sent as time begins to slip away a bit here. A delay once more for a player a little bit shaken up on the far side. This may be another I think that was Littlejohn who caught the football over there. That was a little slow to get up, but he's helped off by the Gaffney training staff, and now the fourth down coming. And protection important right here, Kenny, on this kick for Gaffney, as the punter will stand back in his own end zone.
Crest hadn't been they haven't been rushing.
You wonder if they'll try, and they won't here. Even with Gaffney backed up in its own end zone, you're right. They'll hold true to what has been form and set up the return instead. We get a whistle before the kick ensues. Yeah, you thought maybe with Gaffney standing back in their own end zone, would they try to come up with something that could be game-changing here?
You don't really want to rush him right here anyway, because you hit him and you get them the ball back.
Yep.
But they haven't rushed the whole game.
Well, if you're Crest, you're going to get great field position, and they will. This is going to bounce, a Chargers bounce inside the 40, and Crest is going to have it at around the 38-yard line of Gaffney. And you said it. You think about all the things that
diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive on Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. The electrical panel is the heart of your home's electrical system. Malfunctions can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk or in the dark altogether. Fixing it quickly will help keep you and your family safe. So trust our team of electrical experts at Mr. Sparky to get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Today, having choices at the end of life's journey is more important than ever. Choosing the proper way to honor a loved one is not an easy task. There are many emotional, personal, and spiritual issues to consider. Now, there is a new alternative to traditional burial and flame-based cremation. Foothills Aquamation is a water-based natural process that gently returns your loved one's remains to their natural ash form. Learn more at StammyTysingerFuneralHome.com or drop by their offices in Falston and in Cherryville. It's summer travel time. No matter where you're headed, head first to Butler's Tire and Auto Service in Kings Mountain for a quick auto checkup. They are fully staffed and ready to serve you for all of your automotive needs. And now take $25 off your service bill. And all tires are at cost with an installation package, and they carry all name brands. That's Butler's Tire and Auto Service, 404 East King Street in Kings Mountain, online at butlerstireauto.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
To football season, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a CSI Mechanical of Shelby post-game show, first one of 2023. And let's introduce, I've waited for this all summer, our Reverend Dennis Davis, our deacon, Will Boykins. I knew I was going to get it wrong. Are you Mr. Creative Hastings? And as always, your music minister, JP, and her on the sound. I knew I was going to get it wrong.
Amen, brother. Amen. It's Boykins.
Okay, I got it right. I was like, check. I know I was going to do it wrong something.
Wow. Good check, JP. All right, we've got Crest about to score, folks. We're going right to the back to the red zone. You guys were watching Crest and Gaffney. Let's get that back up. They're right on the precipice of scoring and finishing this game up at 41-38. Now we're going to take you out to Crest High School.
All right.
In the early stages of his Crest tenure. You know, he talked about being at Burns over the years and playing here in a scrimmage, in a jamboree, and saying, this is coach. He is tonight, and what an environment it's been. His team trying to take command of the game. Husky keeps it to that end. A flag comes in just as Husky goes into the end zone. And that looks like it's in the holding area, Kenny.
I was just fixing to brag on the receivers doing a great job blocking. Stalk blocking, that's one of the things where they're trying to get off these blocks to get to the quarterback or to get to the ball carrier, and they haven't been able to do it. And that was one of the times. Maybe that's why they blocked so well. That's finally got caught holding. But no, I've watched them, and they do a great job.
It'll back Crest up to the 13-yard line, and it's still goal to go on what will be a second down play with 4:18 to go.
At one point, and another thing too, you know, instead of him scoring, it's going to cause more time to be run off that clock.
us there at home. Let's see. Turn that. Leave us there. All right, Husky drops back to pass. Nowhere to go. Goes left up through. Steps up in the pocket. Did he cross the line of scrimmage?
How did you get
close.
out of bounds? You don't go out.
And then the receiver did go out of bounds, number 3 there,
Addison.
to stop the clock. He was hurt a minute ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's back.
But right there, he stepped up. Had to be close to being over the line, but nonetheless, got to
the
complete
other
it.
way. You have to beam the other way.
There's Coach Soseby. 41-38. Crest leads. 3 minutes to go. We're going to give you all the scores here in just a minute, folks. If you listen on the radio, you listen to the Red Zone. The post-game show. I'm going to catch up at some point. Post-game show brought to you by CSI Mechanical of Shelby. First night, Will. I'm going to get it all right here.
You are watching history in the making if Crest wins.
Okay.
They're going for the field goal now. Sets down about the 11 penalty called or timeout called before the kick. We'll see what they do on the field there. Let's see if we got anything.
Get down through there.
This is Nick Sanchez.
It is fourth down goal from the 14-yard line with 3:22 to play.
So we had 31-yard field goal. They're on the 14-yard line. So 31-yard field goal. Crest is looking at up 3 with 3 minutes and 22 seconds to go. Folks, I'm going to give you some scores while we wait on that play to happen, and then they got the timeout. We'll get right back to that, folks. I promise. Final scores across the board right now. I do got some finals. East Rutherford beats Bessemer City 28-12. Avery County 19-12 over Cherryville. Burns Bulldogs wins 42-0 at Forest View. Kings Mountain 34-17 over Shelby. South Point wins 35-21 over Lincolnton. Community School of Davidson 40-7 over the Hickory Hawks. East Lincoln wins tonight 57-0. West Lincoln wins tonight 21-20 in overtime. East Henderson 24-0 over North Buncombe. Those are our finals. Right now, Crest is up 41-38 over Gaffney with 3 minutes to play in the game. RS Central McDowell went to overtime, and they're at 24-24. I haven't got an update on that. Chase was up 3 on Mountain Heritage late, 27-24.
Here's the kick, Kevin.
Snap. Kick is...
It's good. It's good.
It's good.
That's 44-38.
Crest leads 44-38 now over
history in the making.
If you folks didn't know, the 2 other fellas sitting at the table went to Crest.
Well, there's a big surprise.
Hey, it just tells you that's why the clapping is in the
I
house.
don't want to embarrass this gentleman, but he was a former student of mine in both high school and college.
Yeah.
That's a little ironic and scary at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
No, what it is, I already know Will's degrees ain't worth anything. I didn't say Will wasn't intelligent.
Hey, Will.
Don't take that. Will's a very smart, intelligent people. Will, I'm just saying they took your money.
They did do that.
They did it. They did it.
Do you get a check over here, Will?
I do.
Well, you're taking their money.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It worked out.
Thank you.
So Crest up 6 with 3 minutes to go. We'll see if Gaffney can get back in. Folks, we're trying to get the finals going on the scoreboard.
We got some good ones tonight, folks. Some upsets.
Here's some scores I do have that aren't final. Eastburg 47-0 over Patton. Chase 27-24 over Mountain Heritage. Pisgah 17-10 over Brevard. North Henderson 24-6 over Hendersonville. Polk County 33-7 over Madison. Bandy's 21-0 over St. Stephen. South Caldwell 45-0 over West Caldwell. Maiden up 41-0 over Ford. Newton Conover down 33-8 to West Henderson. Last time we checked, 37-8. Bunker Hill leads Freedom. Huss 30-7 over Drone. Forest Hills up 42-12 over Ashbrook. East Gaston 29-14 over North Gaston. Watauga 13-6 over Roberson. Hickory 28-7 over High Brighton. Alexander Central 7-6 over Statesville. 28-0 South Iredale over North Iredale. Asheville 18-14 over Tuscola. Other scores that we had: Christ King and Cannon were 7-7, and 14-0 West Iredale over Thomas Jefferson, and Mountain Island 40-0 over Cabarrus was some of the scores we had. I'm going to search through those and try to get some more finals for you guys right now as we sit here and watch these final games here on KTC broadcast. I'm going to pull up the folks at home. You can watch the post-game show now. You can catch the end of this game. Gaffney and Crest, handoff left. Gaffney, big run, 20-25 yards. Wait, maybe more.
He didn't get out of bounds. It don't matter. He got a first down.
Got his first down, yeah. So Did he cross the 50 there, Will?
Yeah, I think he crossed the 50. That's a huge play. That's a huge play.
KTC Broadcasting. We've got extra live coverage of Crest and Gaffney here, all the way from South Carolina. So let's see. Go ahead.
Dive in there. I
don't
look for them to put the ball in the air much here because they've been dominating the whole game on the ground.
Yeah, with their size and strength.
Yeah. So Crest is gonna have to. Somebody's gonna have to bark up right here. So one of the Chargers is gonna have to bark up and say, "Hey, we taking over the game right here."
So Gaffney down to the 32-yard line. Direct snap, keeps it. Looks like he might have got the first down on second too. Crest is pointing. No, they're saying first down. I don't know what Crest guys were pointing at right there, Will.
Yeah, I guess they thought they was getting a holding call.
Not sure. But Gaffney with the first down. Remember, they're down 6, so they need the extra point to get back in the game. So they're just running direct snaps right now. Running back or quarterback, I don't know what to call him. But they're going straight back. Wildcat, I guess what they might call it.
Yeah, the quarterback's out.
Oh, he is.
Oh, yeah, he's now he just bounced back in. I delayed on him just a little bit longer, boys.
That's why those direct snaps. You know, this is a cramped time of the game.
I see that.
Lay on him just a little bit longer. Make them use them timeouts.
They did call a timeout. All right, so Will, I'll let you guys let them know some more scores around the area as we wait on this to end.
So where did you leave off at?
You can just start back over. I've covered everything. You can just go ahead and start reading some more.
All right, so we got East Rutherford over Bessemer City, 28-12. Avery County over Trouble, 19-12. Burns over Forest View, 42-0. And you just took all my scores.
I don't know how that happened. I'm over here hitting other buttons.
Shelby falls to Kings Mountain, 34-17. South Point over Lincolnton, 35-21. Gaffney is currently 6 points down to Crest, 44-38. Art Central and McDowell Titans is locked up at 24. Last we had reported. Eastburg is 47-0 over Patton. Chase 27, Mountain Heritage 24.
All right, going back to the game, they finally had the injury timeout. 2 minutes to go. Looks like second, about 8. Gaffney quarterback back in the game. Quick little bubble screen or
good
I don't even know what to call that pass. Didn't go nowhere. Got back 1 yard maybe. Clock's moving though. Timeout on the field again. It looks like the clock has stopped. So we're gonna guess they
look like they supposed to have. They just look like they should have had more than yeah. They did with us.
Yeah, but Larry Pettis came over and covered that real well. Number 10.
Let's see what they're saying.
Sophomore who got in there to disrupt.
No timeout on the field, so we'll go back to some scores for a moment. Will, back wherever you were.
Brevard, Will.
Oh, so where was that? Brevard falls to Pisgah.
Hold on, they're back already. That was quick. That was a quick. I guess they took a little 30-second timeout to figure out what to go do. Hey, another timeout. Is that not a 5-yard penalty? Back-to-back timeouts.
They can't call back-to-back timeouts.
I didn't think you could. We'll see what they're saying on the broadcast. How about that?
Oh, I like his towel. Jesus sakes.
A key play on which the balance of the game right now holds forced Gaffney to go ahead and burn the timeout.
That clock ran out before he called timeout.
You were looking. I was looking.
Well, nobody's had to look at it all night.
Did the flag come down or did they grant the timeout? And it turns out the latter was true. All right, reset here. 1:51 to play. 6 points the separation.
How did the clock stop?
Gaffney with the football.
Gave him the timeout.
Riley Staten in the introduce yourself to the Gaffney Faithful game for the new quarterback of the Indians. Set the face 8.
This is
3rd down and 8.
This is the stop you want, because then you know what's probably going to come after that. But they've had problems stopping that post pattern right across the middle. It's been open. But they've got 2 safeties, high safeties back there right now.
Back here right now.
We've
got some country announcers. I don't know if we got
wait a minute. Hold on.
And a flag.
We got a flag down.
Gaffney up a little more.
Illegal cheating by Gaffney.
That's a big boy right there.
Yeah.
Charge to the Indians.
77.
Oh, I'll tell you who he is in just a
Third
You got a
from
roster.
behind
I got
the
the
sticks
roster
now for
on.
Gaffney.
What's the?
Into the personnel group.
That's a great big old youngin.
Well,
That's a whole lot of youngins.
I don't know who he is, but he
You
must be
can't
a
see
boy.
that is still a youngin.
it's not made that much
C.J.
difference.
Brooks.
When these teams score.
C.J. Brooks.
C.J.
Tackle. He's a freshman, Will.
Well,
That's a whole lot of freshmen.
the right guard just smacked him after he jumped off side.
Dances out of trouble. But he's going to be gathered up and dropped.
Yeah. All
At
right.
the 30.
That's going to make it 4th and a lot here for the Crest Chargers. It looks like they're going to.
Game on the line.
They can make a stop.
Make a stop.
Dips under a minute
He's
and a half
celebrating.
to go.
This game's not over.
If I'm
Make a
Gaffney,
stop.
I'm throwing it in the end zone right here with Forget the first down. We're throwing it in the end zone.
Well, with a packed press box, 3 or 4 broadcast crews in here, all letting you hear their voices rise to the rafters on every single snap from time to time along the way, and a packed house below.
Yep. Gaffney's they got the white shirts out there on the hill. So minute 20's left in the game. 4th down for Gaffney, down 6 at Crest over there, 44-38, 82 points on the board. Nobody came to tackle tonight, but they're Gaffney's got a chance, but they're in trouble here. Was it about 15 yards, you think? Is it close to it?
What's that I heard in the background? Did it sound like a fat lady singing?
Uh-oh. Oh, Will.
She ain't singing, but she's definitely tuning up.
Oh, Will. The announcer's curse. I can't believe he just did that. And then a guy comes on TV with a mullet. Y'all are in trouble. Y'all are in so much trouble right now. Y'all got Dennis.
It's just
calling
a ball
game.
Speaking of which.
Tanner Halbert's here. He got to West Lincoln and North Lincoln. All right, here's the final play. Tanner, you want to watch
Here we go.
4th down. Gaffney down 6. Snap. Drop back
sack,
to pass.
Sack.
And he is going to get him sacked. That's going to be the ball game. Crest is going to win.
Number 18 for the Chargers.
Why he didn't throw that ball?
That would be Finn Alley.
I don't know who he was waiting on to throw the ball to there, Will. He just kept looking at him, whoever he was. Like, it's like he's going to get open. It's 4th day. Like, it's the last play. Everybody knows you're throwing the ball. You take 3 steps and sling it. There ain't nothing you can do on that play. All right, well, it looks like the Chargers are going to win.
No fumbles.
80 degrees, our band is fumbles. Out. Our band is out in shorts and T-shirts. That's it.
Finn Allen on the sack wheel, 6'3", 170-pound senior.
The Gaffney folks are going home sad.
Well,
it's a sad
I can
night.
call our counterparts at work tomorrow at the Ford store in Gaffney and say, hey.
How'd that game come out last night?
So the final's going to be 44-38. Gaffney falls to the Crest Chargers, guys. So there's the final for that one.
Wouldn't you know it?
JP.
I picked Gaffney to win.
Did you? There you go. No faith. Did you hear that? Will? No faith. All right, JP.
At least you got the 38.
We need to take a quick break and get reorganized, find some more scores, folks. You're watching the CSI Mechanical Prep Football Postgame Scoreboard Show live on KTC
and
Broadcasting.
And we got scores for you.
.com.
Your train comfort specialist is CSI Mechanical in Shelby, serving this area since 2010. CSI Mechanical's goal is to provide peace and comfort with respectable, dependable, honest, and reliable customer service for everyone. They pledge to keep their pricing competitive and fair with no hidden surprising cost. 100% customer satisfaction is their goal. From air conditioning to heating to HVAC repair and maintenance to commercial refrigeration. Call on CSI Mechanical, located at 410 South Post Road in Shelby. Call 704-600-6267. Online at csimechanical.com. The Roundup store in Shelby has just received a new big shipment of outdoor furniture. You'll find a good selection of swings, chairs, and picnic tables just in time for your summertime backyard cookouts. And stored away in one of the new storage buildings. There's one for your needs. And don't forget about their kitchen cabinets, including white, plus Larson doors and Pella windows. The Roundup store, 1610 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at roundupshelby.com. Like them on Facebook, too.
Flashback 2019 has been extended at James River Equipment. Save up to $4,800 on a John Deere tractor with loader at 2019 prices. Additional inventory has just been added, so there's an array of models to choose from, like a 1025R 25 horsepower tractor with loader for just $19,999. Other models and horsepower is available for a limited time. Visit JamesRiverEquipment.com for more. Offer in 7/31/23. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. James River delivers.
At All Care Insurance Services in Shelby, Gastonia, and Belmont, they can help you with all of your insurance needs. Whether it be home, auto, life, commercial, and more, their agents will shop your rates to ensure you are receiving the best price for the coverage you need. Visit one of their offices near you. 220 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, 4835 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia, and 7005 East Wilkinson Boulevard in Belmont. Your local service for insurance is All Care Insurance Services, serving this area since 1984.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. The electrical panel is the heart of your home's electrical system. Malfunctions can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk or in the dark altogether. Fixing it quickly will help keep you and your family safe. So trust our team of electrical experts at Mr. Sparky to get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Today, having choices at the end of life's journey is more important than ever. Choosing the proper way to honor a loved one is not an easy task. There are many emotional, personal, and spiritual issues to consider. Now, there is a new alternative to traditional burial and flame-based cremation. Foothills Aquamation is a water-based natural process that gently returns your loved one's remains to their natural ash form. Learn more at StameyTysingerFuneralHome.com or drop by their offices in Falston and in Cherryville.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
It's summer travel time. No matter where you're headed, head first to Butler's Tire and Auto Service in Kings Mountain for a quick auto checkup. They are fully staffed and ready to serve you for all of your automotive needs. And now take $25 off your service bill. And all tires are at cost with an installation package, and they carry all name brands. That's Butler's Tire and Auto Service, 404 East King Street in Kings Mountain, online at butlerstireauto.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. You've got to see it. A 2020 Shelby Mustang GT 500 is in the showroom at Classic Ford Lincoln in Shelby. Come see this beast of a machine. It's a one-of-a-kind, and it could be yours. And right now, Classic Ford Lincoln in Shelby is having an end-of-summer inventory reduction sale on new and pre-owned vehicles. Save thousands of dollars. They've got to make room for new inventory arriving daily. And don't forget, they feature a top-rated service department, too. Classic Ford Lincoln, 1775 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at ClassicFordofShelby.com.
And we are back on the CSI Mechanical of Shelby post-game show. And now, Kevin's running back in the room. And though he is running, we now have our fourth and fifth final member of our board. Am I correct, Kevin, in assuming that?
I don't know what you're babbling about in there, but
it's Steve DeGree.
Yes, our discipleship pastor, Steve DeGree, is in the house.
Steve is gonna. He's got business to take care of first.
Oh, okay.
It's called
So
Fast
JP,
Cafe Dinner. He's got
JP,
chicken tenders.
we were at the meeting and you said, Steve, you look like the usher.
Oh, the usher? Yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
So Steve's the usher?
Steve is the usher.
Dennis is the reverend. Steve is the usher. Will is the deacon. You're the youth pastor. I'm the music minister. There we go. One of these days I'll get it right.
JP. Practice, brother. Practice.
Yeah, I will practice it. Trust me. I mean, after all, Steve is roaring like a lion. I mean, come on, think about it. He is a golden lion. So.
Steve, I don't know what to tell you.
Bless your heart.
Hey, at least I remembered his name.
You did? I'm glad for you, JP.
Hey, another 4 or 5 years and never mind.
You'll have everybody down.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we got some final scores for you folks. I had one to put up there. Oh, East Gaffney was the final. All right, so couple that we are finishing up with the finals as they come across, folks. I want to thank everybody for giving us their call-ins and texts and whatever to keep us updated with the scores. We appreciate everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Rob Root. Appreciate your text.
Yeah, we're going to start talking to our announcers here in just a few moments about all the games. First of all, though, we're going to start here in-house, our own Steve Degree. I'm going to hit the right button here in a minute. Let's go with the 4 squares, and I'll set that up. There we go. Steve Degree's in the house, head coach. One of the coaches over at Shelby tonight. Kings Mountain wins 34-17 and opened the season against Kings Mountain this year. Big matchup. Tough when you play some good opponents in the first week and not get to warm up. But Steve, tell us a little bit about how the game went tonight over there in Kings Mountain.
First of all, we started a sophomore quarterback who just need to get some game experience. Land Farmer. Last year, he got hurt in preseason and never got to really play much to the end of the year. So this is just like his first year playing. And we got a new offensive line. We're young. I'm not making up excuses, but a game like that, we do have things that we can build on because we had 3 or 4 turnovers inside their red zone, and they only got 2 field goals out of that, and they ran a fake field goal. I turned my back. Next thing I know, the guy was going for a touchdown, so they did a fake field goal on us. And I told side guys sometimes when a team do a fake field goal on you, they're not for sure if they can beat you or not. So they'll try to get you off guard. But I guess they didn't give up. They fought to the end. I don't really like to lose, but they gave a valid effort. And one thing too, Dennis, we got a lot of kids playing both ways, and and they're not used to that.
And Shelby's not used to having kids play both ways. And I noticed in the pregame, Jeff talked about there were 3 or 4 kids that were having to go both ways.
And then a couple of them, Jaden Pierce, it's a difference when you're just playing in practice, but you got to play for 4 quarters both ways. They cramped a lot. But
in this heat and weather, Steve, I'm going to give you that too.
We had a lot of cramping on both teams. Some kids cramped over and over and over. And then one of our guards, Justin Ross, that's Jackie's younger brother, he twisted his ankle early in the game. So then we had to switch offensive line up again. Plus, we was already missing C.J. Whitener, who they said he was sick. So he didn't come to school for a couple of days. So we was already behind the 8 ball when we went over there. But you got to give Kings Mountain credit. They are a good football team. And I wasn't taking anything away from them. And they running back, that number 21 kid, he got hurt too.
Well, who played quarterback for Kings Mountain tonight?
Well, hold on, guys. We got a caller we got to get to. And we'll finish up with the Kings Mountain and Shelby game here in just a few minutes. David Potter's on the phone. He covered the South Point Lincolnton game for us tonight. On KTCBroadcasting.com. So we're going to talk to David. If JP hit all the buttons right, we're going to have some highlights of the game as we talk to David here. David, you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, we hit all. Hey, first time we hit all the buttons right and did everything.
Hello, boy, JP. Yeah, JP.
You got to throw a party in here.
JP's in mid-season form. It's not a first week for him.
I'm saying.
Yeah, he is in mid-season form. We didn't know Will's name when he came in. You're exactly right, David.
You're never going to let me let that die.
No, JP, this is ridiculous. Well, David, South Point tonight wins 35-21 over Lincoln. And it seemed like, South Point was in the lead there pretty much the whole game. But tell us a little bit about, 35-21 don't look too bad. But like I said, South Point pretty much led the whole game. So they were kind of in control, right?
They did. Both teams scored on their first possession, made it 7-7. But after that, it was South Point pretty much scoring next 3 touchdowns. Actually missed a field goal in there too, so they extended it out to about a 3-touchdown margin. But you give Lincolnton credit; they kept battling. Early in the season, like you've been talking about, you got cramps and other issues. They didn't give up. They got it to 28-13, gave up another touchdown, got it to 35-21. And they were driving again, had another, and then got picked off late in the game. So South Point was in control, but there was a lot of fight in the Lincolnton team, and that's good to see with a new coach like Jaden Angle. I think they're going to do pretty well this year. They've got North Lincoln next week. North Lincoln coming off a tough loss to West Lincoln 21-20. So I think they could be a spoiler in the Catawba Valley. I mean, Bunker Hill and Maiden are usually going to be your 2 big dogs, and Bunker Hill looks really good. But I think Lincolnton's going to surprise some people. They've got some talent, and I just think they're going to be a better team than people might think.
Well, David, how did the new AstroTurf look and play on over there?
It's a broadcaster's dream. We can see yard lines, and we'll still be able to see them in November when the grass used to go dormant. Now it's going to be really it looks really nice. The end zones are a bright yellow.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. The field didn't seem to cause any issues that we could see tonight. A couple cramps was pretty much all it was, injury-wise, and both those players came back in the game later and were fine. So and they're going to get so much more use out of those fields because the soccer teams can use them over at North and possibly East this year. There might be lacrosse. I mean, there's an track and field done there. So, I mean, it's going to be, I think it's going to work out for all the schools pretty well.
Well, it looks good on the screen. We're showing the highlights right now. The 21-27 South Point quarterback kept himself. Do you have any final stats on him? He had some pretty long runs there.
Yes, what I've got is 18 carries, 224 yards, 182 of that in the first half.
Shoot.
He had 3 big runs right out of the gate, 54, 24, and 52 yards.
Yeah, that 52
and
that 52 and he wasn't even barely touched, I don't think. I just trying to watch on the video, it looked like.
Yeah, no, he went down the left sideline, cut it back up the middle, and someone might have got a hand on him, but I think that's about it. So they had a lot of rushing yardage, and then in the second half, they went with the fullback Chance Ford, and they just wore down Lincolnton. Ford had 27 carries for 157 yards. South Point ran for 400 yards, passed for 9, typical South Point. And Lincolnton had 241 yards rushing they ended up with, and 113 passing. So they had some decent offense. They just had trouble sustaining drives at times. They make some plays. For about 2.5 quarters, they were having troubles with a snap. Boss kept either barely fielding them or having them go over his head, and he had to scramble around. They made a good substitution about midway through the third quarter, changed the center, and then all the snaps were right on the money after that. And Boss looked a lot better after that. He could throw the ball because his timing wasn't getting disrupted, trying to catch it, come back down, and then see what's going on. So, and that the center that came in, oh, God, what was his name? Devin Rink, he got our Subway sub of the game.
Number 65.
But it was a good first outing. I think Lincolnton's going to do pretty well this year. Well, time will tell, but it's only one game. But they have some good signs.
I'm watching the highlight right now. Number 3 taking about 50 yards. Is that Nehemiah Lynch on that carry?
Yes, it is. That was his only carry of the night. Went 43 yards for. He scored the
give to him more
second touchdown of the game for him late in the third quarter. So.
Hey, David,
yeah, they've got some speed at Lincolnton.
Hey, David,
they get some blocking and get some better snaps and maybe some cooler weather because they do have a lot of guys going both ways. That seems to be a common theme that you guys were talking about. I think there's good things ahead for them.
Hey, David Potter, this is Steve DeGree. Did the South Point quarterback did he say he didn't throw any passes?
1 for 2. Well, you know, when you're running for 400, you
on,
don't need to throw it much.
That kid can really throw the ball. We had them on 7-on-7, and I was really impressed with the way he was throwing the ball. So some of you teams who got to play South Point, he can throw the ball. I'm telling you, he's going to surprise some people. He's going to stick it in that fullback's belly, and he's going to hit that seam pass like they throw it, or he'll throw it to the wide receiver. So I talked to him on doing 7-on-7. So if they open up their offense a little bit, South Point always going to be some team to reckon with this year.
I mean, he had a great year last year. I mean, he ran for a bunch of yards. As a freshman, ran their offense quite well. I mean, took them all the way to the state semifinals, only losing to East Lincoln on an interception at the goal line on the last play of the game. That was a fantastic game last year, and that was East Lincoln's toughest test in the whole playoffs.
Because, you know, when you play South Point, you got to look for that red bone. And I'm looking at the highlights. He did a pretty good job.
Yeah, you get Patrick out on the corner, you're in trouble.
All right, David, next week, who you got? East at Forest View, correct?
That is what's on the schedule, yes.
Well, East beat Kramer 57-0.
Boy, they just picked right up where they left off, didn't they?
Yeah, they won 57-0 tonight, and Forest View got beat 42-0. So just giving you a heads up on what you might be looking at next week for Forest View and East Lincoln, possibly.
Yeah, it wasn't a close game last year either when they played at East Lincoln. So East looks like they've not rebuilding. They may have reloaded, at least so far.
I believe so, David. Well, thank you and Scott Tudor. Scott's first night on the job. You guys did great. I want to thank you guys and have a good night and a good weekend.
All right, thank you. Enjoyed it.
Swing them good next week. All right, back to Steve Degree here. We're going to pull up some of the those Shelby Kings Mountain highlights as Steve talks us more to us about it. And so, folks, we're going to talk to all of our announcers that at our games tonight. So we're going to talk to the Lincoln County, the Cherryville people, and let's see, we just talked to Lincoln County. We got to talk to Rutherford County, Waggy. We got to talk to Paul, and then we got to talk to Cherryville, Tim and Ken, and then we got to talk to Steve's here, but we'll talk to Brent probably here in just a little bit as well. Let him tell us from his side and maybe some stats. And then we also will talk to Mr. Cinefani here about Burns in just a few moments. All right, Steve.
Rob Root.
Yep, Rob's going to give us a call, talk to about Crest. So, Steve, let's get back to the Shelby Kings Mountain game tonight.
Well, like I said, I think we had 3 or 4 turnovers, and our quarterback was under duress a lot. You know, we kept switching linemen in, but in all land, he did a good job. He threw a couple of interceptions, but like I said, this young man just got to get some game reps. And if you think about it, a few years ago when Crest implemented their sophomore quarterback, it was hard slaying, but Land, he's a competitor, and he'll keep working hard. One of the hardest working kids we got. So
that's always a good thing when your quarterback is one of the hardest.
It's the hardest one. Yeah, one of the hardest kids we got.
It's a good sign.
First one to practice, last one to leave, and he's learning. Like I said, You got to learn offense, and then when you got Zay Bridges, which sometimes they was triple teaming him, but then you have that Simpson kid coming off the end in that sprinter stance, trying to come around in, trying to get your quarterback. A couple times Lane stepped up in the pocket, makes a good throw. So we just got to get some game experience and get some of our kids in shape, because I was trying to tell them, drink plenty of water. Coach Hastings tell them, drink plenty of water, because we had a lot of cramping.
Yeah, so them guys has got to drink plenty of water all week. They can't drink soda all week and then shut down on Thursday and start drinking water. You got to flush that out of your system. You got to have water in
water. Coach Will Banks pressed that some of the guys need to walk around the school with their water bottle at all times. Absolutely, to keep itself hydrated. It's just kid catch a cramp. Keep catching them, keep camping over and over and over again. Because Kings Mountain, they was cramping too.
Yeah,
it's just this time of weather. So anyway, we've been here before. We'll go back to the drawing board, watch the film, and prepare for AC Reynolds, which they lost 8-7 tonight. So, both teams will be trying to get their first win next week.
All right, we got Rob Roop on the phone talking about Gaffney Crest game. So we're going to get out to Rob and let us know a little bit about what happened there. Rob, we got you there?
I'm going to tell you what, guys. I didn't play a down in that game, and I'm exhausted. And guys, as soon as I get them loaded, I'm going to get these highlights to you. I see Natavius Husky. Y'all know I'm a big Eagles fan, and some of the stuff he was doing, like, is freaking Randall Cunningham out there running around, dodging guys and all that. So it was incredible, the performance tonight. But it felt like two heavyweights, and they just kept punching each other. And I'm going to tell you guys, Crest won this thing. They were up 3. They got the ball back, and Crest had it 4th and about 15, heading towards Gaffney, heading for the touchdown. Sosa called the field goal unit out, and the whole crowd started booing because y'all know how much fun kicks have been the last year for the Chargers. Lined up, young man to kick last year, split the uprights, gave Crest a 6-point lead, which forced Gaffney to have to drive the field. And they were not able to do it tonight, guys. What a phenomenal game.
Well, Rob, I actually probably stuck my foot in my mouth on the pregame show. I predicted that Gaffney would win tonight by a score of 38-28. Now, I got the Gaffney score correct. They scored 38. What surprised me was that Crest scored 44. I knew we had some speed. I thought during the course of this game, under these conditions, being first game of the year, and you saw cramps and everything out there, I thought the Crest speed might start to give way to having to pound on those big bodies from Gaffney. But it appears those big bodies didn't hold up as well as those little Crest bodies. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it was, like I said, as you can see, they're late. It really was both teams. You had guys that were going down with cramps for both teams. You could see those big offensive and defensive linemen for Gaffney were sucking wind. I mean, it was really these two teams tomorrow, when they go in for film or they got to go see the trainer, they're going to be some dinged up people having to get checked out. I mean, it was the environment was great. Now I will say a lot of people talk about that 97 crowd. It did not approach that crowd. But you got to think that was two nationally ranked teams when they got together then. But tonight it was a phenomenal crowd. Both sides were boisterous. When they opened those gates, man, it was a flood of people trying to get into that stadium. So the environment was phenomenal. You have a first-time game like this. The thing that concerns me for the Chargers, Dennis, you got to be careful next week. You can't get too high off of this Gaffney win going to take on a very good Burns Bulldogs team.
No.
So they're going to have to stay focused.
They're both undefeated. I'll tell you what, you and I saw what they did in the scrimmage, the jamboree at Shelby. Burns looked the best of any of the teams in the county, I thought. Mooney played well. He threw the ball. He ran the ball. Their running back was good. Their defense was good. Their offensive line was good. Be careful, Chargers, about getting overhyped about this win tonight. You've got to go into Lawndale.
I'm going to tell you what, guys, I'm not convinced the fine people of Cherokee County are very excited about next year's matchup either. After I watched that JV team last night just destroy Gaffney. I mean, they beat them like they stole something last night. And then the varsity comes out there, and we're sitting at that JV game last night going, can you imagine if this kid's playing? Because Crest is still playing. They've got, 7, 8 sophomores playing varsity right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the Indians. Let's say the Indians got powwowed these last 2 nights.
Hey Robbie, this is Steve DeGree. I go to my church. A lot of Gaffney people go to my church, and we had this one particular guy last week. He was picking at me because we had played in the jamboree down there in Gaffney, and he was just saying how this North Carolina teams, because Independence and Shelby was down there, and they were saying how the North Carolina teams come down there, and the Indians just runs over them, and Independence had them beat till they scored at the end.
Yeah.
And then so my pastor, Reverend Robert Dover, who's a diehard Crest fan, but he graduated from Gaffney. He told me, said, if Crest win, some people in Gaffney going to commit suicide. he said
funny, guys, I work with a lady graduated from Crest, but she lives in Gaffney now. She wasn't going to the game tonight. She said, I'm going to be honest with you. She said, the thing I'm most excited about, there ain't going to be nobody down here tonight. I'll be able to go anywhere I want to, and not have to fight a crowd. And so there was a lot of folks came up here. And like you said, guys, I guess for me, you always have that conversation, North Carolina versus South Carolina football. And there truly is a difference. I went down to watch Crest when they were at Burns at that scrimmage the same night as the Gaffney one. And whenever Burns and North Augusta come on the field, I mean, it was two grown men football teams.
Yeah.
But you're also drawing from, a student population of 2,600 kids.
Right.
And we talked about that last night, the JV game. Look, for the Crest JV kids, they had 2 practices under their belt with no scrimmage. Gaffney's just their JV team had scrimmaged 4 times.
Because the laws down in South Carolina
the way you're able to run your program is so different. That's why I think North Carolina is so behind the times. If you look at how South Carolina runs their programs versus the way North Carolina runs theirs, South Carolina kids can play some spring football games. North Carolina, you can spring practice now, but we're not having any games. So it's little things like that that make the difference. But I think talent-wise, toe-to-toe, a good North Carolina team can always play with a good South Carolina team.
Well, Robbie.
Plus, they'll redshirt you down there in Gaffney and let you play an extra year, too.
Look at the population. Gaffney has 1,900 students. Crest has about 1,000. Who my sympathy goes out tonight to is a fellow I go to church with named Brandon Cale, who played at Crest. He was the punter for the Chargers, for Wofford, for the Panthers for a while. He was a coach at Crest. He went to Gaffney and coached down there. I think he's an assistant principal down there now. What do you say to those folks in Gaffney when you walk into school Monday morning being a Crest alum?
What about Birch?
What
about
Birch?
Yeah,
he went to Burns.
I think you look at them and you say, this was Crest football.
Yeah.
Crest has been battling to get back to this point, and that's what we was talking on the sideline tonight. I was talking to Jeremy Shields, of course, who's the principal at Crest, and me and him were talking, and he said, "Look at Gaffney's offensive line." He said that's the way Crest used to look up front offensive, and Crest is getting back to that point. We were talking again, going back to that JV crowd last night. That Crest JV offensive line is probably bigger across the board than the varsity line this year. So it's coming. It just comes in waves, but it used to feel like if you had it every year.
Yeah.
Now you're having to build to get there.
Yeah.
You're just not. Now we're getting these guys are running 4.40s and we can't find the 6'2", 6'3", 280-pound offensive lineman anymore. So it's just going in waves.
Well, Robbie, the Melton kid that was a JV quarterback last night, I've talked to his dad, who's the middle school coach, and his grandfather, and basically I suggested have him play JV ball this year. So he gets the experience, and he's got the 8-quarter rule that he can go up. But evidently he played well last night. Normally he would be your starting varsity quarterback, except we've got one of the best quarterbacks in the state of North Carolina ahead of him.
Tatum.
He was Natavius in his preseason NC Prep's 3A Player of the Year, and tonight he showed why. One of the media outlets that we were covering the game was one of the guys from South Carolina. He came up to me and we were talking. He said that young man made a statement tonight, and that's exactly what Natavius did. And I'm telling you guys, teams that sleep on him, they're really messing up. And here's what was pretty cool, guys. I had a chance when Natavius was at Graham. I taught Natavius in kindergarten. Here these kids are celebrating. They were having such a big time. He runs by me and he goes, "Oh, hey, Mr. Roop." I just thought that was pretty cool for that kid to take the time to speak. He's always been a great kid. I'm so happy for him, and he's going to get all the things he deserves. So that was pretty exciting to see him as well. And for me personally, knowing that I've seen these kids grow up and get to this point, you just love that kind of stuff.
I wonder if Mac Brown's going to look at that tape to see how Green did and maybe say, that quarterback ain't too bad either.
I tell you, well, again, guys, this everybody's all about that 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" quarterback.
Yeah.
And Natavius is probably not going to go D1 to Alabama. But you know what? If I'm
He's the same size as
if
the
I'm
guy
UNC
that just left
Charlotte,
Alabama.
if I'm these schools, I'm thinking, wait a minute. Now I can run some RPO. Everybody loves running the RPO now, and they say, I can put this kid in there. I can run some RPO with this young man. So I hope some of those offers start to come.
Robbie, thanks for your coverage tonight. I know it was difficult for you to get a signal out to us. I appreciate your text and keeping me updated on the scores.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to keep working on that. Kevin, I'm going to make sure you have some highlights, have them for in the morning, maybe have them next week. I've got some great stuff. I just got to get them to load. One of the guys come by me, he said, it's like a darn airport here. He said, I can't get nothing out of here tonight. So it was one of those kind of nights. But, again, you had that many people. And a shout-out, too, to the people that did logistics tonight for Crest High School to get that many people in, the limited parking you had. They did a good job with that, too, and kept everything calm. Talked to one of the police officers where they said there were a couple minor instances, but they were on top of things tonight. So it was a great night for high school football tonight that Cleveland County can be proud of. It was just a good night for football.
It's a good night.
Yeah, Thank you, Robbie.
Even though,
all right, guys, talk to you later.
Even though I lost, though we lost tonight, Robbie, I was cheering for Chris the whole time because I'm a Cleveland County man.
Absolutely.
Too.
All right, so we're going to talk to Paul Foster here in just a moment. He was at the Bessemer City East Rutherford game. He's going to call back, and then we'll talk to Tom Sinafani. After that, Steve, if you guys got any more comments on the Crest and Shelby, feel more.
I just
feel
got
more,
one.
More happy to.
And if there any college interest, D1 interest, the guy that's playing at Carolina right now is the same height as Darius. He's the same height as Tater.
Well, how tall is Husky?
5'11".
5'11".
Well, he's taller than the Panthers quarterback. So,
so I
think instead of doing, we got to measure kids by his ability, his heart, and how hard he works. And look how short Drew Brees was.
I was about to say Drew Brees is 6 foot. Ryan Leaf is 6'5". I take the guy who can complete the pass.
That's right.
Every time. I'll take the guy who can complete the pass every time.
Is Drew Brees 6 foot?
He gets the job done.
Yeah, that's what he's listed at. We got a phone caller. Is that Paul on the phone, JP? JP don't know. He didn't ask anybody.
It is.
Hey, Paul.
Hey.
I can't answer the phone and ask.
You got the Waggy caller tonight with Jonathan Bland, 28-12. They win over at Bessemer City. I've heard East Rutherford could have a pretty good season this year, maybe. Win a bunch of home games. We'll see how they do on the road. But how did the new-look Cavaliers look tonight? And also, real quick, first of all, I don't know if you've ever seen it. I've never seen white Bessemer helmets, so I don't know how I feel about that. I haven't seen them up close to know how they look, if that's an alternate or what. But I don't know about that one. But tell us about those Cavaliers pulling off the victory night to go up 1-0 on the season.
Well, I think it all starts with when you bring in your new head coach who's become your AD, and that's Philip Russ, Coach Russ. He just, he's so enthusiastic. He believes in these guys, and he was the guy that they handed this torch to say, we went from being a program that was looked at as, one of the best in Rutherford County. We went to the playoffs. We at least accomplished a lot of things years ago, and this program literally, ended for 2 seasons ago. It did not have enough young men come out to put a varsity team on the field, and they return. And Coach Russ is just, he's just proven himself. But as far as the team goes, they've got Landon Flynn at quarterback, and he's just a sophomore. But one of the things he did is they stayed with a running game early in the game, and then all of a sudden when they got Bessemer City thinking that was going to be their bread and butter, he started putting it in the air some. And the main star and our overall player of the night was wide receiver Blake McClellan, and McClellan had 2 touchdown passes. He did some big things on defense as well. He's one of those guys for a team as small as they are that's going to play on both ways, and he's outstanding over there as well, and he plays linebacker on defense. So I see a lot of things to look forward to as East Rutherford takes those steps. They've still got a lot of young guys. They've got a lot of sophomores still starting, juniors probably more than anything else that have been used to being with Coach Russ from last year. But I think they're going to go a lot further than just winning a couple of games. Can they get above 500? and be in position to fight for a playoff berth. I don't know that they're going to quite be there, and the competition will get tougher. But I see a lot of positives, and it's an exciting brand of football for East Rutherford fans to see again.
Also, Paul, the defensive coordinator is Carlos Ray, former kid I coached.
Absolutely.
And Carlos played for Duke, then he played for the San Diego Chargers. And like I say, he came from football, and he was at Crest last year. And so he told me, I said, why did you go to East Rutherford? He told me that he wanted to go up there and try to make a name for these kids. Said these kids need some leadership, and that's why he went to East Rutherford.
Steve, I'm so glad you brought him up because I always liked watching Carlos Ray, and I was, proud of him to go from Shelby High to Duke and to have a chance to, enter the possibility of having a pro career. I mean, this young man proved himself, and to think he's come back home and he's a part of that staff at East Rutherford, that speaks highly of him, what he wants to accomplish, and again of Coach Russ and what he's trying to put together there. And, he's got a real good coaching staff. Philip Russ does, including Carlos being a part of that.
All you got to do is get your kids to believe. If you can get your kids to believe, you can get a lot accomplished. And hard-working kids. And, you can take something and since you can't nothing, make something out of it.
That's right. I mean, they had to let go of a former coach over there. They had some problems. They didn't even have young men that wanted to play. I think the last game of it was the 2020 or 21 season after COVID, one or the other. We were calling the games. I joined the crew of KTC there with Waggy, and the guys, not even enough guys showed up to practice and play in a last game regular season. Things had gotten so bad. Then they kept put a team on the field the next season. So, this is just exciting that it's back alive, and they've got a lot of players lined up that are not starters. So that's exciting, and I hope that these young men led by quarterback Landon Flynn, and they got a tremendous defensive end and Zaylen Watkins. I hope these young men just keep fighting and proving themselves.
Well, while I got you on the line, did you get I got West Iredell lost Jefferson lost 50-0 to West Iredell. RS Central 31-24 over McDowell. What was your final on the Chase game?
I don't have the score in front of me, but Chase did win that game. It was very close. It went back and forth, and Chase did win. So that's exciting for them because, they went undefeated until they made that playoff trip to Reedsville, and they lost so many starters on offense and defense. So I think that's a good statement for them, and we'll have them as our game of the week next week there in Rutherford County when they host Kramer.
Kevin, Chase 27-24 for Mountain Heritage.
That's the last score I had. That was the final.
That was the final. I'm pretty sure about that.
Okay, appreciate that, Paul. And next week, who you guys got?
We will be doing that game at Chase. They'll come back home and host Kramer next Friday night.
So Kramer at Chase next Friday, 107.5 FM. We'll have highlights from that game as well. As always, thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Have a good night,
weekend.
guys.
Yes, sir. Have a good weekend. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to talk to Tom Sinafani about those Burns Bulldogs on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Your train comfort specialist is CSI Mechanical in Shelby, serving this area since 2010. CSI Mechanical's goal is to provide peace and comfort with respectable, dependable, honest, and reliable customer service for everyone. They pledge to keep their pricing competitive and fair with no hidden surprising cost. 100% customer satisfaction is their goal. From air conditioning to heating to HVAC repair and maintenance to commercial refrigeration. Call on CSI Mechanical, located at 410 South Post Road in Shelby. Call 704-600-6267, online at csimechanical.com.
Flashback 2019 has been extended at James River Equipment. Save up to $4,800 on a John Deere tractor with loader at 2019 prices. Additional inventory has just been added, so there's an array of models to choose from, like a 1025R 25 horsepower tractor with loader for just $19,999. Other models and horsepower is available for a limited time. Visit JamesRiverEquipment.com for more. Offer in 7/31/23. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. James River delivers.
If you're not bundling your insurance with Allstate, you might have fear of missing out, or FOMO.
You're too old to say FOMO.
But people who don't bundle their auto and home with Allstate...
No, FOMO's about fun stuff, not insurance.
But what if people use the money they save to pay for that fun stuff?
Okay, fine.
Your local Allstate agent is Damon Scott. Give him a call at 704-484-3463.
Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
There's a lot of good reasons to shop Hometown Hardware in downtown Kings Mountain. As a matter of fact, too many to put in this ad. At Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain, you get friendly service. They're more than willing to help you find what you're looking for. Plus, you get the best possible price, too. From Traeger grills to Milwaukee tools to Husqvarna power tools to Case knives to lawn and garden items. They're there for you. See Howard and Kyle and leave with a smile at Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain. See the page at whatsupshopper.com.
If you're not bundling your insurance with Allstate, you might have fear of missing out, or FOMO.
You're too old to say FOMO.
But people who don't bundle their auto and home with Allstate...
No, FOMO's about fun stuff, not insurance.
But what if people use the money they save to pay for that fun stuff?
Okay, fine.
Your local Allstate agent is Damon Scott. Give him a call at 704-484-3463.
Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. The electrical panel is the heart of your home's electrical system. Malfunctions can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk or in the dark altogether. Fixing it quickly will help keep you and your family safe. So trust our team of electrical experts at Mr. Sparky to get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Nobody does it better.
Yes, when it comes to real estate, nobody does it better than Sherry Horn of Sherry Horn Real Estate. Sherry was voted the best real estate agent and best real estate office in Cleveland County. If you're in the market to buy or sell your home, talk with Sherry Horn at Sherry Horn Real Estate. Call 704-915-5450 or visit her website at soldbysherry.com. And like her on Facebook too, and you'll see why nobody does it better.
And we're back with the ministry that is KTC Broadcasting on Friday Night Football.
The ministry. I think we got Ken Link on the line, JP.
Actually, no, he's calling back. Let me get him back. Okay. I think he's on the phone. I think he hung up on the first one, but.
Hello?
Post-game show brought to you by CSI Mechanical of Shelby. Check those guys out. Have them come fix your stuff. But we got Ken Link on the line right now. Ken, are you home yet?
No, we're on the way back, but the game didn't end until about 10:30 or so. We had a lot of penalties in the game, 24 to be exact. 11 by Cherville and 13 by Avery County.
19-12. Cherville,
right.
Avery County gets the victory, but Ken, y'all had some pretty exciting back and forth there around halftime, didn't you?
It certainly did. Last 3 minutes of the half, we had 3 touchdowns scored, and most of them on big plays. The first was a touchdown by Avery County to go up, to actually go up, and then Cherville came back and tied it on a 49-yard interception return by Rayshawn Seward, and that was all within the last 3 minutes of the half. And then right after that, as soon as Avery County got the ball back, hit a 65-yard touchdown pass bomb and took the lead 13-12 going into half.
Well, Ken,
this is
Dennis. I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to tell you, I know that you were missing your comrade in arms tonight, Danny Aker. And when you see Danny, give him the best wishes from all those of us here on the post-game show.
I certainly will.
Now,
and the second half was dominated by Avery County as they took the open kickoff and controlled it. Finally scored after driving, then fumbling away and getting it back, and finally scored in the third quarter to go up 19-12. And Cherryville came back late in the game, had a drive. They started from their own 15-yard line, went all the way down to the 5-yard line, had third and goal from the 5. Couldn't get it in there. It had a pass that looked like it could have been caught, but it was dropped for a touchdown. And then on a fourth down play, it was incomplete, and they turned it over on downs with about 30 seconds left. That was the ball game.
Well, Ken, looking into the future, y'all got the schedules there in front of you somewhere, don't you? Will, you got a schedule.
Say that again?
You guys got West Lincoln next week, right? At home.
Got West Lincoln next week, and then Blacksburg, South Carolina after that. So I understand West got a victory tonight over North.
Yeah, 1-point victory over tonight. West Lincoln wins in overtime, 21-20. They went for 2 there for the win. I guess that might not have been. Yeah, it was overtime. I think Terry sent me to overtime. Yeah, they got the win. And then you guys got them, and then Blacksburg coming up on WCSL, correct?
Yeah, both home games in Cherryville. So yes, sir.
All right, folks. If you Cherryville Ironman fans, you're gonna be on 92.9 next 2 weeks against West Lincoln and Blacksburg. They'll be at home. Come to the field, watch them play. And if you can't make it out, listen to Ken on the broadcast with Danny or Tim or whoever else shows up with Ken, I guess. But Ken, thank you.
Hey, you want Tim to bring his equipment back to you? You want me to keep it, or?
It don't really matter. Just have Tim bring it back. Real quick, did y'all hear a Highland Tech score, by the way?
Did not.
Okay,
did not hear a Highland Tech score.
We're trying to round one up. So if anybody's listening out there and does have Highland Tech at Greenville Hurricane score, it's the only score we don't have on our board. Call JP here at the office, 704-435-2845, and let JP know how Highland Tech did. It's the only score we're missing so far today. You have one more thing, Dennis, for Ken?
I was just going to tell Ken there's a pawn shop over in Shelby if you...
Don't do it.
Never mind. Never mind.
Hey, Kenny.
I'm sorry I asked.
Mr. Baseball, do not listen to him. This is your buddy Will. Do not listen to Dennis.
Okay, I'll listen to you, Will.
Hey.
Yeah, listen to the deacon, not the reverend.
You went from bad to worse, Ken.
Hey, you and Tim, I'm glad y'all had a good night. You had a good game to watch and a lot of excitement. Look forward to hearing from you guys next week.
Okay.
Thank you, Kenny.
We'll
have a good night.
do it again next week.
Yep, be careful. Have a good night, bro.
Okay, you too.
Ken Link, Tim Johnson coming home from Avery County, where Avery wins 19-12. All right, we're going to go through some highlights, and we're going to finish up with the scores for tonight. Let's see if I can get some of this working. Let's see, Steve, if you will hit the computer button right there. Let's see if that works. That one worked right there. All right, let's see if we can get some volume on this. Here we go. Here's the Crest Chargers coming out the tunnel to start the game tonight. I don't think we had the beeping with that. Probably should have. I don't know if anybody else did.
Running through the graveyard,
We're going to start with the Chargers in the tunnel. Get excited to come on out. All right, how about Burns starts off 6-0 lead over Forest View. Tom said he's going to give us the update, the overview of the game tomorrow on the morning show. If you Burns folks want to catch that first part of the show tomorrow morning when we go over scores, listen for Tom Finafani going over the Burns Forest View game. Another blowout in Gaston County and Gastonia. Gastonia had a rough night by a lot of it.
Gaston County.
East Lincoln goes up 8-0 here on this play.
It was a slide tackle.
He
tried to slide tackle.
Didn't he? He tried to slide tackle. Craziest thing about the craziest thing I've ever
I
done.
would have never paid no attention if you hadn't kept breaking it up. I was like, yo, that's a yeah.
Was
he
you
tried
right
to
there?
slide
Y'all teach that on defense?
I guess they know they couldn't catch him, so he said, I just give up.
No comment on that.
Why not dive, Steve, right here? Why not dive? He made a good cut across the field. Why not dive right
maybe
there?
Trip. We give him a benefit of the doubt.
That's 14 Jackson Beam. He had a few touchdowns tonight. Let's go. Let's see real quick. Next one.
This is West Lincoln going up 7-0 on North Lincoln there early in the ball game. I think that might have been Winix on that one. I'm not 100% sure. Our post guy didn't put it. Now, this is a pretty pass right here, Steve, over the top. And East Lincoln had some good passes tonight. Number 4 with a touchdown there. That was Jalen Roseboro with that touchdown. The first one I just showed you was Beam, and that was Roseboro there. Quarterback, I got Grant Law was listed as a quarterback. I can't see the number there. Hunter Bowling is a junior, listed as a quarterback there. If I can get the number. All right, South Point going up 7-0 over Lincoln on this little run. Like I said, quarterback had a bunch of runs. Look at that hole.
Everybody took the pitch, man. You watch that play. Everybody played the pitch, man.
On it. Yeah, there's 3 of them over there.
Everybody took the pitch, man.
All right, East Rutherford going up 8-0 against Bessemer City. Pretty pass over here in the left corner. You see the quarterback's behind the tent, and the ball comes up right over the DB's head. And in fact, they'll throw the same pass play here in just a few moments as they found something they liked. This is Burns' second drive. Made it 14-0. I think it's a handoff right here. Takes forever for this play to get developed here before they hand it off.
I wish we could have talked to Tom tonight. I understood that they stopped the game because one of the players for Forest was injured.
Touchdown, baby!
7-7. Lincoln ties it right here. Dad's excited. Burn 22-0 over Forestry on this one. Folks, you wondering where I'm getting our videos from? Our reporters are at all the ball games, tweeting on What's Up Shopper, at What's Up Shopper / KT Scores. Here's Javar Green from Husky. Little bubble screen about the 10-yard line and beat his men to the corner. Want to thank Robbie and them just now getting some of the plays out because of so many people at the ball game. A lot of people couldn't get phone calls out there. All right, Lincoln, this South Point going up 14-7 with a 52-yard run here by the quarterback. This is what we were talking about with David Potter, where he went untouched, went left, then back right, and he scampers for 52 untouched yards for the touchdown. I made it 14-7 South Point. How about 23-0 here? The run from Roseboro shakes and breaks a bunch of tackles and takes off to the corner. He's out. I think that's Roseboro. Let me make sure. Number 2. Nope, that was Daly. That was Christopher Daly. Sorry, not Roseboro.
24.
Is that 24 or 2?
That's 2. That's number 2.
Yeah, that's Daly. Christopher Daly. So nice little run by Mr. Daly. Broke some tackles. Here's that pass in the corner I was talking about for East, throwing the same play. Nope, that was the handoff. The pass was 21. That was the handoff right up the middle. Here's the big fumble there at West Lincoln that got the Rebels the ball back after North was in the red zone. You see that ball bounce up in the air. The Rebels jump on it. I'm trying to see that number. 15, it looked like maybe been around. Or 4, 7. 7 looks like coming to play for West Lincoln with the fumble recovery. Big touchdown pass, Mooney right here. Receiver gets open quickly, and he's gone down the sideline. Bulldogs go up 29-0 in down the far East Lincoln. Here's another pass to Jackson. This one just drops down right in over his head. What a pass. Just like Steve said. But Jackson probably got a penalty there. He took his helmet off. Mm-hmm. Wide receiver. Can't take your helmet off after you score. Leave it on, boy. All right, here's the good pass in the corner. For East Rutherford, right, beat him again in the corner, touchdown. That's why I have to look at the video on that one. They said, what are y'all doing over there? 21-7. South Point takes the lead on this quarterback keeper again up the middle. This time he got hit a couple times, 3 or 4 times, but they couldn't wrap him up. And he walks in from 5 yards out. East Lincoln going up 37-0. Like I said, they end up winning 57-0. So highlight after highlight after highlight for the Mustangs. It's made it 21-6. Bessemer cuts the lead 21-6 on this fumble recovery. Scoop and score. See, that's a big old boy right there. That's pretty tall. I wish I had his number. Don't say it right there on the screen, doesn't know. 36-0 Bulldogs go up on this handoff. I hear Nelson. Nelson, I heard you on the broadcast. You must have been sitting near somebody. Sitting near Zach. East Rutherford takes the knee up 21-6. All right, now we got some highlights. This Kings Mountain kicking their field goal. Steve, this made it 17-7. Right down the middle. All right, back over. This is Zorian Lanier for Kings Mountain. Touchdown pass. What happened here, Steve?
We didn't tackle.
Yeah.
Basically, we read the wrong coverage and the guy caught it. Went back against.
Is that a slant?
Yes.
1-2. Safety didn't come down and finish them off. Yeah. Then the field goal for Shelby. Who's your kicker this year? Kicking these field goals.
Lopez.
Lopez with the kick.
Jose Lopez.
Jose Lopez. That's a good little kick. They have a little velocity on it. Nice little kick, Mr. Lopez. East Lincoln punches it in. Number 11 for them. That would be Jarvis Stevens. All right, back over to Lincoln, where South Point goes up 28-7 on the keeper. This is North Lincoln. Kicks a field goal, makes it 7-6. Cut the lead over in Vale. Knights and Rebels. 1-yard run for Bessemer City. 2-point conversion was no good. Cut it 21-12 for the Yellow Jackets, trying to stay in the game, but East Rutherford ends up pulling away. This is East Lincoln's final touchdown of the night, 57-0. Number 3, Hunter Bowling, backup quarterback. I don't know if he did. Hands it off to the defender in his chest with no penalty. East Lincoln had some Tauntons that didn't get caught tonight, didn't they? 28-13. There goes number 3 for Lincoln. And mentioned his main name a minute ago. He was gone. I'll pull up his name one more time. You don't remember that, what I said a minute ago, will?
But you said that was his only carry of the game.
Yeah, only carry of the game.
Only carry of the game.
Would you give him to him another time, Steve?
Yes. I'd have to find a way to get him back in there.
Nehemiah Lynch with the raise. Listed as wide receiver, 5'8", 150. Got missing around the corner. He was gone once he got there. Mooney to Warlick made it 42-0 Bulldogs. That was the final score there. Watch this play. Shotgun. Oh, it was empty seats over the far side. Got behind the defense again. 2 on that side. Didn't have one just like that?
Looked like he had one over the top.
Yep. Here's a sack on 4th down by North Lincoln. Keeping the score 7-6. Good little play there by Knights.
That really made West Lincoln feel that. I mean, it gave it that stadium a whole different look. I remember
with
playing
the AstroTurf, yeah.
I remember playing on that. That was probably like one of the worst.
The grass was more like your backyard than it was. Now they did some improvement. The last few years it's been actually really good. But back in the old days, you're right, the grass was a little backyardy, but now the grass has been fine the last few years. I've been out there taking pictures and stuff, but the AstroTurf, yeah, it's got to be. I made the joke with Terry. I said, back in the day when we played, Will, you'll remember, and Steve will too. Well, Wes would throw dirt in your lineman's face. I was like, do y'all practice throwing rubber pellets now? Is that what y'all do over there? Terry wouldn't comment. I said, ask Andre. Every time I come back in, some lineman call, I got dirt in my eyes. Wasn't my problem, but. So do y'all teach that? Throw the rubber pellets in the eyes, Steve, when you get down there?
No comment.
No comment.
That's good offensive line, coach.
No comment.
I'm just curious what y'all do some dirty things up there along the line.
Hey, we let it do what it do.
West Lincoln goes up 13-6 on this score. Trying to catch a number on this. Number 4, the touchdown for the West Lincoln Rebels. That made it 13-6. 30-yard run, East Rutherford. Extra point makes it 28-12. Off left side. Lost contain. Whoever was over there.
That kid.
This is Lincoln and Cutting the score 35-21. And they gave a good run at him. Just couldn't quite stay with them there. South Point with the victory. That was the clock run out.
The kid from East Rutherford that plays quarterback. South Point.
Yeah.
They're gonna be really got about one more year that whole group is gonna be together.
But some
group, the sophomores actually were juniors this year. Next year is gonna be really gonna be their year.
That was West Lincoln, North Lincoln time. Go ahead, Steve.
And if you think about a couple of years ago, East Rutherford Middle School is pretty good. They gave us a run for our money a couple of times. So they got some kids that really want to play. If they just don't lose them to Chase or Thomas Jefferson, they can keep them all together. And with the coaching they got, they should be pretty good.
North Lincoln with a triple option. Touchdown on the pitch. Number 21. This is West Lincoln for touchdown. Made it 19-20 in overtime. Then they went for 2. They barely got in. North says they didn't get in. He looks like he's laying on the 1. Where's he laying right here? Let's see. Will.
The ball is on the 1 yard line.
His butt's sitting on the 1. There's the ball on the 1.
Wait a minute. You can't look at this. You gotta look.
You gotta cross.
You gotta look. See, everybody's in the end zone right there. He is in the end zone right now.
No. Where's that?
That's his helmet right there where my mouse is. Okay. So you're watching that. The only red helmet in that pile. Let's see if it gets in the end zone.
He didn't make it.
He might have there for like a half a second.
The ball didn't make it.
I don't know. He definitely landed on the ground a yard short.
I don't think the ball made it. I like to break that down frame by frame.
We need a better angle over the top. I'm sure the folks in there are saying he clearly scored. That was way over the goal line, Will. Now here's the two-point conversion. This time he's in there. He's laying in the red on this one, Will. I think he scored. North looks like he scored. So West Lincoln wins 21-20 over North Lincoln. Now we got some video from the Battle of Buffalo Creek. This Mountaineers made it 34-10 on this one. These aren't going to be in order probably. These are just now coming in just like the Crest highlights. We got this one earlier, Husky to Green. How about an Aiden Carson touchdown run for the Crest Chargers? There it is.
That kid good too, number 14. He's good.
That's a long run. That's over 50 yards. How about a Husky to Green again?
Wide open.
I might have could have caught that.
Whatever defense you drew up, you shouldn't be standing there waving at the quarterback, right?
That's the last thing you want to see on defense is standing there with his hand throwed up in the air.
Hey guys.
What are you doing?
Well, they lost. But they thought he was set.
Yep.
Oh, now that was mean right there, Doc. He threw that on a rope to the end zone.
He's lucky that he's so lucky to get picked off. But what a throw! Look at that. He got a tip. He didn't get tip. Can't tell what number 3. He's got hugging.
Adams.
Number 2.
Yeah, it says it on the screen.
Number 2.
To Adams. Adams the big. Here's Husky on the keeper for a score. And Shannon didn't label these when they were scored, so I don't know what the actual score was when these happened. Husky to Adams. Looks like Gaffney had trouble covering people at all. There's some wide open receivers on there on these last few. And there's the Crest Chargers celebrating the win on the hill over the Gaffney Indians.
A new tradition with.
That is the new tradition.
Yes.
That started.
Yes.
Started a couple years.
All right, boys, we got to get through these scores and get out of here. All right, let me shut these guys up. All right, we're going to
before we do the scores,
go ahead. Yeah.
Can we get this young man contributor down at Stuart Kramer High School?
Ben McMillan.
Ben McMillan was one of the best offensive linemen that I met during the summer, and he was diagnosed with leukemia down at Stuart Kramer. So if you're listening, Ben, this is Coach Degree from Shelby, which you and I had a good rapport when we. And I just want to know that I'm praying for you. I asked my pastor to pray for you, but for some reason I couldn't remember your name. But God knows who I was talking about. He knows everything. So just put your faith in God, Ben, and everything gonna be okay. Just let him know all the fellas here, we're praying for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Steve, and Will and Dennis. We're gonna get through these scores real quick. I'm trying to go through them as fast as we can. We got to get off the air here in a few minutes. I'll let you guys. You want to go to that game? I got extra tickets there. You want to go? That's in the air condition. It's in the suite. You don't have to sit outside. I'll talk to you about it in a minute. How about that? East Rutherford 28-12 over Bessemer City. Avery County 19-12 over Cherville. 42-0 Burns over Forest View. Kings Mountain 34-17 over Shelby. JP, don't play me out. Yeah, it's going to be a minute. 34-17 Kings Mountain over Shelby. Lincolnton falls 35-21 versus South Point. Crest wins 44-38 over Gaffney. RS Central 31-24 over McDowell. East Burke 47 over nothing over Patton. Chase 27-24 over Mountain Heritage. Pisgah 24-10 over Brevard. And 33-7 Polk County over Madison. North Henderson 31-12 over Hendersonville, guys. Late score come across. Hendersonville loses big time tonight. East Lincoln 57-0 over Kramer. Huss 37-21 over Drawn. Forest Hills 55-12 over Ashbrook. East Gaston 29-14 over North Gaston. Watauga 13-12 over Roberson. Hickory 35-14 over Highbright. Mountain Island wins 40-0 over Cabarrus. 27-0 Northmore wins over Carver. West Iredale 50-0 over Thomas Jefferson. Cannon of Cabarrus 37-14 over Christ the King. Community School of Davidson 40-7 over Hickory Hawks. Bandy's 35-0 over St. Stephen. South Caldwell 52-0 over West Caldwell. West Lincoln 21-20 over North Lincoln. Maiden 48-6 over Ford. West Henderson 54-22 over Newton Conover. Bunker Hill 42-8 over Freedom. Alexander Central 13-6 over Statesville. South Iredale 38-0 over North Iredale. Asheville 25-22 over Tuscola. Murphy 41-14 over Franklin. Smoky Mountain Mustangs 34-13 over Cherokee. And East Henderson 24-0 over North Buncombe. All right, guys, around the table. Steve, any final thoughts or surprises or any comments? Whatever you want on tonight. You got a minute.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for not giving me a hard time because I think we was on the Cleveland County team to lose. So I just want to thank you guys and congratulations to the Crest Chargers for winning, beating Gaffney. And here again, I thank East Rutherford. I want to give a shout out to Carlos Ray, one of my all-time favorite kids, defensive coordinator for East Rutherford. And we'll see you. I might not be here next week because we got to go up to AC Reynolds, right. And maybe by the time we get back, Dennis gonna be ate up all the food anyway. So I'm about to stop and get me something.
All right, Dennis. Crest wins tonight. Any other surprises, thoughts on any of the other games, or even on Crest and Gaffney?
Well, I'm looking forward now. I'm not looking back. I'm looking forward to Burns and Crest next week, and then Steve, the week after that, we'll talk about Shelby Crest, and we'll go from there. But congratulations to Coach Sosby. I thought maybe you'd bit off more than you could chew. Just shows how much I know. You had a plan. You've pulled off your plan, and congratulations to all the Chargers.
All right, Will. First week comments. Thoughts?
First week. If I could, I would just like to say it's good to be back on. I went through some recent trauma, and it's good to be back on doing football, and glad football is back in. So
we're glad to have you in the house, Will. Obviously, praying for you and your family. And
she's in Beautyland, so you ain't got to worry about it.
Yep, absolutely. And I want to thank you guys, everybody listening tonight. Next week's broadcast, we'll have Crest at Burns. Live video of that one, guys, on KTC Broadcasting.
Tom Centofanti on the call.
We won't have to steal the video from South Carolina television. Thank you, Crest, for that one. Shelby at Reynolds next Friday night. That'll be on WHS 101.5 FM. West Lincoln at Cherryville will be on 92.9 FM WCSL. Kramer will make a visit up to Chase next week. They do too good against East Lincoln tonight. We'll see how they handle Rutherford County. And then East Lincoln at Forest tonight. That might get ugly as well next week. Then the following week, Kings Mountain at Burns. Crest and Shelby, Cleveland County matchups next in 2 weeks from now here on KTC. For Will Boykins and Dennis Davis, Shannon Allen, Steve DeGree, Andre Bush, John Prather, Calvin Hastings. Anybody else come through here tonight was on the radio or anything? I said JP.
JP?
I said John Prather.
Yeah.
That's
John Prather.
John Prather.
That's the J and the P.
They ain't gonna know who that is. They know him as JP.
For John Prather. All right, John Prather. I'll see you in the morning. Everybody else.
Do we got a Kings Mountain hat on?
Yep. He's a
Kings Mountain guy.
Oh my God.
I got one down the hall about
Oh my God, JP.
Better not say nothing, Steve.
I just not noticed that. I ain't JP.
All right, folks. We'll see you next week on KTCBroadcasting.com.
incredible man. I only do things incredible can. Cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see